What is up? What is up? OG5. We are trying things a little different here. We're streamlining the things. 410 Media. We're basically getting down to the basics, so face it. Speaking of back to the basics, we're down to a two-man show, two-man crew tonight. Gordon is out handling things that were a situation out of his control, and apparently the control of his wife's nasal passage as well, but that's neither my place to talk. But joining us far, far away from the lands across the river, over the valley and through the woods and swamps and cities and areas of debauchery, Mr. Mike, no use for a last name. Mike, how you doing tonight, fella?
Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy. Homie, dude.
I've got heartburn.
Oh. Why, are you sad or you physically ate some spicy food?
No, I didn't really eat any spicy food. Like, anything can give me heartburn. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like the other night, I was up really, really late and I was just sitting in bed and I was like,
welcome to an episode of the
horrible.
Health Problems with Old White Men podcast. Yeah, it happens. Take the 18 years of typing on keyboards, plus Xbox, plus going to the gym, plus typing on cell phones, plus paddling, plus reeling lines, my right hand, my repetitive stress syndrome, all that garbage has been kicking up high, and I've been dealing a lot with that lately. And I just noticed that our stream here is a little redundant because YouTube, the way we're doing it now, that put the digital 410 logo over top of the What's in Your Head logo. And so now we have two digital 410 logos and one What's in Your Head logo. So I'm going to quickly slide this bad boy across the screen in real time because that's what we do here. I said I am going to slowly move this guy across this. No, the hell with it. I'm just going to get rid of the damn thing. It won't let me move it. No, that one. No. Oh, well, we'll just turn it off. You all know what this is. This is What's in Your Head podcast. And there we go.
If you don't know, now you know.
You know? You know what I know?
What do you know?
I know that people have been snickering, making fun of me, turning up their nose, saying I don't know how to fish. I've been posting all these little photos of these little dinks, little water bass, little Cape Coral snouts.
Good little guy.
And I've been complaining about how the fish have not been fishing or catching or biting or doing anything since the hurricane. But I've been staying positive. I've been posting pictures saying, look, they're getting bigger. Over the last week, the bite has picked up. Spawn is here. And last night, the crescendo. Last night, I set a new personal best, not in weight, mind you, but in the most non-dink fish in one night. If that makes any sense.
It's always a nice record.
So the most non-dink fish in one night. So we went on out to the backside of Lake Zurich, which I have to say the water's clean. They pulled out all the porta-johns that I can see. They've cleaned up the shorelines. It's very nice. It's very nice. And we went out, and so Carrie got a new bag of Bruco worms. We're excited about that. And she goes out and paddles in front of me. As per the rule, I can't paddle in front of her. Now, she will say it has nothing to do with catching fish. It has everything to do with how she casts, but I have to point out the fact that every time she fishes in front of me, she gets more fish than I do. But she says it has nothing to do with nothing. It's just she's a better fishing person than I am. Fine, whatever. So she paddles on down the way and casts out a cast or two and gets a fish, and he's running and zipping and ziming and went on the lily pads and damn it, snagged.
Oh, no.
She thinks she snagged. She thinks she may have lost a fish. I paddle over there, and we're literally pulling lily pads out like you're pulling bad socks and underwear out of your hamper and you're trying to find a pair of something to run in. And it was there in the lily pads, and I grabbed it. Turned out to weigh a little over 2 pounds. Actually, a little shy of 2 pounds, but we're just going to say 2.
Call it 2.
She got so lucky. The hook slipped from its lip, drug across its side, and stuck it in the back right below the dorsal fin.
Oh, shit.
And so when I got it out, I had to undo the line from the lily pads and get my pliers and undo it from its side. And then she happily tossed it back in. And I was okay. That's how it's going to be. She always catches the fish. I cast out. I put a Bruco Watermelon Red on there, thanks to the fine people over at Gecko. Not thanks too much, because we did pay full freight for them. So, but they're good. They're a good worm. Well, I don't want people to think, this is a advertisement, for gecko worms. No, I paid for them. Well, she paid for them. Actually, technically, no. This fishing trip was brought to you in part by one of her TikTok followers who, for some reason, decided to send her $20. So we used that money to buy worms. Hey, we're all about it. So if you want to support the cause, you can do so through live streams.
That's awesome.
And so I throw one out there, and I get a bite, and he starts taking off, and I reel one in, and boom, I catch a 1.87 pound fish. So we'll roll it up to 2 pounds. We've been out on the water for 10 minutes. We both pulled in 2 pound fish. It's going to be a good goddamn night.
Nice.
Throwing worms, getting hits, losing them. She catches another fish, throw a worm, get a hit, comes off. Or at least they're active. She's by this point, she's got 4 fish in. Motherfucker, we're down past Bat Bridge. I'm not catching anything. Go out in the lake, throwing top water, nothing. Throwing a buzzbait, nothing. She catches another one. God damn it. And she's in that camp. She's in that school that you're in. She's just throwing worms, man, flipping worms. Fuck everything else, just flipping worms and reeling them in. I'm throwing crankbaits, bringing in nothing. I'm throwing buzzbaits, bringing in nothing. And we get across the backside of Lake Zurich, go down by the water plant, go under the bridge. She catches another one. I'm like, motherfucker. And so I'm worm flipping. I'm not getting anything. And I finally said to the fine people on my GoPro YouTube, I said, you know what, fuck the dinks. I want a bigger fish. I want to catch a big fish. I'm tired of catching dinks. I'm going top water. So as you get past the bridge and you hang out left, there used to be that big seawall where you lost your line that day. Something big broke off on it.
Yeah.
And that's also the same seawall where Carrie caught when we were seawall fishing, she caught a bass. It took no hyperbole, 35 minutes to get this thing out. We thought it was snagged. It was down in the hydrilla. And I'm pulling it. I'm like literally just walking back trying to pull a tree limb across the fucking field. And there's a 3-pound bass down there. So we're in that spot. And I stand up on the Vibe Yellowfin 120 and I throw a top water and it hits it right on top. Reeling it in. Which, by the way, this video will be up probably this weekend on YouTube. Love the yellowfin. Stand up on it. Not only is it enjoyable, but it brings such a dynamic camera view to the YouTube video now because I have the camera mount on the front pointing up at me. I got the headset, so now you can actually see the fish swimming in the water. You can see my pole. You can see everything. So it just makes for a more interesting visually video content.
I've been meaning to ask you how the Vibe is actually working out now.
I actually permanently installed my fish finder tonight.
Nice.
I just had the wires laying crammed up in place. I finally got those line things that we used on Little Steve to put the anchor system in. I still had some of those, so I zipped it in there, and it's permanently installed now. So I'm loving it. There is a guy on YouTube who designed add-ons for they basically you hammer them onto the chair post, and it gives you like an extra 4 inches. It raises the chair up extra 4 inches, but it's secure. And then you can slide stuff under it now, but there's a crossbar. Yeah. By raising it up, it actually allows you to put a drawer under there. Vibe has since made a new chair where that horizontal bar is now arched up. So it does that. But there's a guy on YouTube, I think for maybe $15, you can buy his chair risers. So I might buy some for that. But I'm getting used to it. I haven't fallen out of it. So I'm standing up. I'm reeling this thing in. Video footage looks great. You can see him. Pull him up. He's about 3, maybe a little bit bigger. But the problem is we weighed our first 2 fish, and my scale had slid underneath my seat. And as I'm saying, it's low enough. I could not feel it. So I could not measure. I could not weigh this thing, but I'm telling you, it's probably 3 and 3.5 pounds. We called it 3 because it's definitely was bigger than the 2-pounders we already caught. Yeah. So I'm like, sweet. Carrie's like, no, that kind of sucks. I got more fish, but you're catching bigger ones. And so we turn around. Now it's getting dark. We want to head out to the lake because that lake is where we catch the most fish on topwater. And so we're paddling down that way. I go under the bridge. She stays back. She's on TikTok. And I not catch anything. So I paddle out into the lake. I hang out left. And I go out where I always go out because there's always fish beds. And once again, I stand up. I cast. Reel. Kaboom. Something hits it. Not even 1.5 feet deep of water. Like my fish finder's like trying its best to say 1 foot. It's with the hydrilla grass. I mean, I'm probably fishing in 11.5 inches of water. I'm reeling him in, and I get him. Weighs about 2.5 pounds. Okay, so I've caught 3 fish. Every one of them has been over, 1.98. We're rounding up to 2, 3. and a 2.5. Carrie comes out. You caught another one? Yeah. Where at? Over here. I always catch down here. So I'm pointing to the left, so she promptly goes to the right. Okay. So she's down there because that's the way the wind's blowing, and she's on TikTok. And I didn't catch anything else out there again. Now, I will say over the last 2 or 3 trips, we have gotten braver, if not stupider. We've had a strong belief in not fishing after dark in kayaks because alligators. But now we have headlamps and we'll be goddamned. And so one night we were running late and it was dark and I had a headlamp on, just red light, and we're throwing TopWaters and we're getting hits left and right. The other night, 2 nights ago, we both pulled in like 3 fish after dark. No scale on us, didn't weigh them, but they seemed hefty fish. And so last night we're doing the same. She gets one and then I get a couple of hits. So we're right across the boat ramp. It's like 9 o'clock now. It's dark. It's dark as shit. And I just hang out right, and I throw and reel. And I posted the video today on YouTube. Boom. This guy hits it, pulled him in 3.5 pounds. So I only caught 4 fish yesterday, but everyone, 2 2-pounders and 2 3-pounders.
Quality.
Yeah. And
quality coming out of the
so it's definitely spawn season now. I know if you live in Texas or Oklahoma, you're like 3 pounds. My 5-year-old catches that. But trust me, someone who grows up in Ohio and Kentucky, 2 and 3 pound fish are nothing to sneeze at. Maybe if unless you're, we have a friend on TikTok that Carrie and I are convinced that he fishes stock ponds in Orlando because literally he's constantly pulling out like 6, 7, 8, 10 pound fish. It's like, no, dude, we're fishing with the same goddamn bait you are. You're clearly in a stock pond. Where we're out fishing in open floodplains. I mean, we're fishing in open water. So, but I'm stoked. It's the beginning of the season. I'm struggling, man, because I got to post at least 1 picture a week for casking. Oh, which, by the way, Old School Fisherman has the Texas Longhorns hat. Been around forever and a goddamn day. Who is that?
Oh, you're talking about Bill Dance.
He just signed on.
He does. He wears a Tennessee hat.
Yeah, he just signed on to endorse Cast King's line. So he's actually on Cast King's team now for the line. Obviously, he already has pole sponsors and real sponsors, but Cast King's first product was Fishing Line, and they just announced today he signed on to Cast King's team to promote their fishing line. So
that's awesome.
That'll be huge for that lineup. And so I will say I went online today and I ordered a Cast King medium heavy rod because I'm catching all these fucking fish on TopWater.
Yeah.
And I have a Cast King Valiant Eagle on it, but it's that 13 brand fishing pole, the same one I caught the 8-pounder on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, I caught this nice 2-pounder on a Cast King Royal Legend with a Royal Select, and then this big one I caught on a Valiant Eagle, no mention of the pole. So I'm like, if I'm going to start catching these hogs, because I have 3 poles. I got my medium heavy that always has a TopWater on it. And then I got my Royal Legend. My Royal Legend bait caster on the Royal Select, which is my medium light, which usually has crankbaits, chatterbaits, just my hard baits. And then I got my Cast King Royal Legend GT on the Crixus pole. No, I'm sorry, Perigee 2 pole, which is my medium light or my light fast. And so that's my worm flipping pole. So 2 out of my 3. But like right now, all my pictures are on fucking a medium heavy, and I can't post a picture of the damn rod in the background because it's not there. So I got the shirt on and all this, and But anyhow, I'm excited. Fishing season's picking up. Kayak is getting in there. I'm thinking about. Did you put LED lights on the inside of your boat?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about getting red or yellow because I turn my headlamp on red and the mosquitoes don't attack. You turn that white light on and bugs are like,
Oh, I know. That first night that we were headed back to the boat ramp, nonstop was it just gnats and fucking mosquitoes.
Well, I got a headlamp I use for running, and it's your standard one. It has one super bright fucking light. Then you hit it again, it goes to dim, and you hit it again. It's the self-defense light. It goes to strobe mode, so if someone's attacking you can blind them. And then you turn it off, and you got the red. So you can put it on the back of your head and use it as a tail light. Which, by the way, the biggest joy as a runner, I was out running one night about 9:30. And here in Cape Coral, it's dark. We're like the 10th most dangerous city for pedestrians in the entire United States, if not top 7, because we have no street lamps. Kids are constantly getting ran over. And so I got this LED light. Now I'm very aware of the power of this fucking thing I have strapped to my forehead. And so I usually turn it on medium, and then I cock it down. So as I'm running, it's hitting the ground in front of me, and not down. You know, I'm not hitting people's fucking bedroom lights, rooms. I'm not hitting cars
Yeah,
and all that.
like headlights are supposed to be on a car.
Yeah, I'm very conscious about it. I actually it swivels up and down. I have it aim it, and then the way I run anyhow, because my low self-esteem growing up, I've always been a ground watcher. You know, when you're the tallest kid in your class, you're like, oh, it's a tall man, it's the weather up there. You know, you get self-conscious, and so you slouch your shoulders, you walk with your head down, make yourself shorter. So my entire life, I've always been walking, staring at the ground. I never stand up straight, and so I run that way too. And so the light's shining out. So I'm running through the neighborhood, and there's a car coming at me. His brights are on. And I'm running. His brights are on. So I hit the strobe light and turn off. His brights are on. I turn on the fucking bright, flip that shit up, look right at his windshield. 0.32 milliseconds later, his fucking brights turned off. I was like, yeah. And I turned mine off. I was like, yeah, how do you like it, fucker? I was actually able to essentially shine my brights on a car who was flooding me out.
Yeah. No, I fucking hate that. Every time I'm driving down the road and somebody's just coming towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't stand that shit.
My old roommate used to ride his crotch rock with his brights on.
Why?
But so people can see me. Yeah, but now they're fucking blind. They're going to hit you, dipshit.
Yeah,
this whole thing was well, now they can see me. So anyhow, back to the boat. So I bought Carrie one of those, and so we have them in red mode. But I was thinking about, because I already got a 12-volt battery in my boat for the fish finder. I want to get one short enough to just put along the sidewall on the inside of the main cargo area, so I can just light that up with red so I can see at night.
Yeah, that's what I did on the interior on my kayak, but I rushed through it, and I just went and picked up whatever I could and didn't think about it, white light attracting the bugs and whatnot. So
well, I want to get one that's multicolored, but I figure probably red and yellow. But I also want to get the ones that are segmented. So instead of one long strip, you can shorten it and lengthen it.
Yeah, yeah.
That way I don't have a bunch of just bullshit. I just want to do that one inside area, because I don't want lights running all. I don't want to look all goofy. Actually be kind of cool just to run them underneath the railing where my foot pegs slide. That we can, and I like to find some that are black tape, not that white shit. But
yeah,
I'll tell you what. If I can start pulling in 3, 4, 5 pound bass by fishing at 9 o'clock a fucking night, I'll do it. And with my headlamp on, I can turn on the bright real quick, and if I don't see any reflecting eyes, then I ain't got to worry about alligators either.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was watching this dude on YouTube. A lot of people probably know. I won't say who it is, but they probably follow him. He was doing a night fish with. He's out in Texas, so obviously they get the big bass out there. But
talking about lunkers.
No, not lunkers. I guess I could say it. John B. From Guggen.
Okay.
So he did a night trip. I don't know. It was like maybe a year or two ago. And I mean, they were pulling in 8, 9 pounders at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, you don't expect that, because normally when you go out fishing, you think, okay, when I was growing up, I thought bass fishing was like, you go at like 5 a.m. to like 10.
Yeah, because nighttime fishing, you think walleye, catfish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All of your like nocturnal species, I guess you would call them. But yeah, I mean, they were pulling in these massive fucking fish at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I mean, they were just having the time of their fucking lives out there.
Yeah, but
that's something I want to do, like, soon.
Well, too bad the water's so shallow, because we could take your boat out there at night and not have to worry about being in a kayak, but you can't, even with your jack plate, you can't go through fucking 8 inches of water.
Yeah.
I mean, along the edges of the lake, it's 8 feet, but out in the middle, it's super shallow.
Yeah, it could throw skinny in there. Speaking
of boats, I don't think they found the cat. Carrie and I have talked about taking our kayaks out in out into Caloosahatchee River.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it before, but as we were just saying, I oftentimes fish in 8 inches of water. And so I don't wear my life jacket actively. And Florida law says you just have to have one in the boat, just like any other boat. You don't have to, If you're over 18, you don't, or over 16 or 12, whatever the law is, you don't have to actively wear it while in your vessel.
Unless you have there is one, what is it? The automatic inflators.
The one that looks like you have a sausage around your neck.
Yeah. Sausage I think it's a law. If you have that, you have to wear it.
Yeah, well, when you pay $130 for it, you're going to want to wear it anyhow because pay 100. You know, I got a $5
Yeah.
bright orange fucking Walmart, which it takes up so much space. I almost rather just buy a nice life jacket just so I utilize and get some use out of it. But
I mean, I know how to swim.
well,
So I mean, if I fell in, I could handle myself. But the only thing that is like concerning is if you get knocked out.
well, see, and that's the thing, and that's where I am. I know how to swim. If I fall in my kayak and for some reason I can't flip it over, I can pull the life jacket out of the back. But I think, like a lot of other things, you kind of get complacent with those sort of thoughts,
Yeah.
and it just becomes habit. Whether I'm out in Cecil B. Webb with 13-foot alligators or I'm over at fucking Lakes Park, I never wear my life jacket because I can swim. I assume the two guys who decided to take their John boat out on the Caloosahatchee River last Sunday had the same feeling.
Yep.
They're probably, I mean, if you got a John boat, you're probably not doing a whole lot of river skipping. They probably say, hey, let's take this bad boy on the river. Let's do some fishing. I don't know. Pure speculation on my part.
Yeah.
But something happened along the Essen Bridge and that John boat went over. And they said it took on water. And it was a guy probably in his 30s, maybe late 20s, and his father. Mm-hmm. They only recovered his father.
Yep.
So I don't know. I would assume if this guy couldn't swim, he probably wouldn't have been so lackadaisical with the life jacket. So I'm guessing he probably felt he could swim pretty good, like we all do.
Mm-hmm.
But you just never take in consideration when it comes to rivers like that, depth and undertow.
Yeah, I mean, some of the parts of that, I mean, in some of the areas that we went when we took my boat out there, some of those spots are 25, 26 foot deep. And I mean, the undertow in the river, I mean, when they're pumping water out of the Caloosahatchee, I mean, it's moving.
And they were in a 16-foot John boat, which, for those of you who don't have a boat, that might sound pretty big. My kayak's 12 feet. Yeah. So this thing is only 4 feet longer than my kayak. But that makes me think, if Carrie and I ever think about going on the Loose and Snatchy River, I might well have to invest in some better life jackets and actually wear the life jackets out there the whole time. We've never flipped in our kayak, but there's bigger boats out there.
Yeah.
Speaking of boats, I just read this before the show. Cape Coral City Council, sorry to do a lot of regional stuff tonight, but Cape Coral City Council is actually considering removing licenses from jet ski rental companies.
Really?
Now, on the face of it, you're like, well, what the fuck? Why? Now, when I hear jet ski rental company, I just think you go down to the river and go up to a boat ramp and you order some jet skis, you hop on them, kind of like you do at the beach and go.
Yeah.
And that's not really what they're worried about. It's the ones where you take your fucking car, your truck, you go down to the lot, you rent the jet ski, they hook it up to your fucking truck, and you drive off, and it's free time.
Yeah.
Apparently, these cats, and I just, maybe the kids who put their Nissan Maxima in the fucking canal, maybe they rented that jet ski. But I guess the problem that Cape Coral has is they have discovered that when you see these assholes zipping down no-wake canals, that these aren't jet ski owners. These are cats going out and renting jet skis.
Mm-hmm.
And since they rent them, most of them don't have a whole lot of experience. They're not up to date on the laws. And they're the cats that you see, and we've said before, I see them out in these lakes that are so small. It's like, dude, it's like taking a crotch rocket to a mall parking lot. How much fun can you possibly have? Yeah. You zip a few donuts and then you're looking for a place to go.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if maybe there's cats who the old man with the bass boat and I almost got in a fight with at Seahawk who were parked their truck trailer in the boat ramp.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe they rented that jet ski.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's actually, there was years ago, I don't know if it's true now, but they used to make you I think it's the NSBLA supported test. They used to have to take, if you were under 25, you had to go and get a boater safety course taken. You had to take one and pass your boater safety course. It was like, I took it because I knew, like, right off the rip, I'm gonna own boats. I'm gonna be out on the water. Like, I might as well just do it instead of getting pulled over.
That makes sense down here because of the waterways, the ocean, the rivers, and all that. But up north, I had a wave runner up north. When I turned 16, I didn't get a car. I got a wave runner. Kind of like Ferris Bueller. I wanted a car and got a computer. How's that for being bad on born under a bad time? But I vaguely remember looking at a book, but I don't know if I was required to take one, and I had one at 16.
Yeah.
But
Well, and the I know the law says that you have to be at least 16 for any motorized vehicle. I think four-wheelers, dirt bikes, all that stuff. And you have
or
to
riding
be,
with a guardian.
yeah, at least riding with a guardian. If not, you have to be 16 to ride on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that like I said, with the motor safety course and stuff like that, like they even have like you have to take like a PWC course too. And if you're under 25 and you get caught without it, from what I heard, you would get a ticket.
For some reason, oh, hold on. Never mind. It's my first time streaming to YouTube in the manner in which we did. And I didn't hear any audio, but it was apparently YouTube audio was muted by default. Once I unmuted it, it kicked on. So no, I just wanted to see how, because we know in the past that the YouTube stream was always stronger than the Facebook stream.
Yeah.
And so the only downside is you don't have an active video on Facebook. They just see the thumbnail and us saying we're live. And so I think it's going to take a little while for people to start coming over. That way we changed the date from Tuesday to Wednesday. But anyhow, yeah, so they're talking about ixnaying on the Etsky Jays.
Which, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean, we witnessed it in, I think you were with me, when we took once again, and on that same trip in the Caloosahatchee.
When they almost ran over Doofy the Dolphin.
That was in Lover's Key.
Oh, yeah.
Doofy the Dolphin was in Lover's Key. The other two jet skiers that we witnessed were jump in my wake and get real close to my boat and shit like that when we were
That's fine. That's fine if you own the boat. Like when once again, I got a jet ski at 16. I was a skateboarder. I was kind of a dick. Old man Don talking here. My 1991 Wave Runner 3, 2-cylinder, 55 horses.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing a whole lot of fucking damage on that.
No.
These new ones, 3-cylinder, 4-cylinder. Well, 3 for sure. They went to 3 like in the early 2000s. I haven't owned one since the late 90s, but long story, these things are fucking motorcycles on water.
Have you fucking seen some of these people build up those motors?
I got on a jet ski about 5-6 years ago. Carrie's brother was dating a girl before he got married whose father had some, and we were on the Caloosahatchee River. And I'll tell you, I'd rather drive one than be on the back. I hate being on the back because I'm not in control.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are fucking fast, and they're fast, and they're fun, but they are a lot faster than they were when I had one. But when I had one, we had a pontoon boat. So it was like, cool, we had a mothership. Just drive around the lakes, and you could go high and kick and hit the stream and hit the side of the boat, and everybody had a good time.
Sure.
But once again, 55 horses, top speed, 50 mile an hour maybe on water. Now,
if that.
Yeah. It felt like 100 back then. Well, at a point though, you do like, man, I want some more horses out of this thing, but it doesn't come to be. But so yeah. I was watching at work today on lunch. I was watching a video, and it's so interesting to watch Gutfeld on Fox News. It's the only show I watch. He's on it late at night. You ever watch that?
What is it?
Gutfeld show. Greg Gutfeld on Fox News.
No. It's
so crazy because he used to be a writer for, I think, Men's Health. He was the editor for Men's Health. He has Tyrus from ECW on there.
Okay.
He's on there all the time. And then Kat Timpf, who is an independent, and then we'll have a few other guest people on there. You know who Jim Norton is, right? The comedian. Jim Norton is probably one of the nastiest motherfuckers you'll ever hear. Talks about banging prostitutes, all the weird fetishes. He's on Greg Gutfeld all the time. He's a return guest. Last night, I just went blank. He played and he was Goat Boy on Saturday Night Live. Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
Jim Brewer's on there. I forgot. Jim Brewer lives in Naples now.
What?
Jim Brewer lives in Naples. I know The bass player and lead singer for Godsmack live here in Cape Coral. The lead singer used to live here too, but his wife made him leave. Judge Judy lives in Naples. Sean Hannity has a place down there. You know, a lot of these politicians. Sergeant Slaughter used to live down there. The father from Christmas Story died of cancer on Sanibel. So it's not
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. You know who just moved to Matt Lachey?
I think I saw your post about this.
UFC champion moves to Southwest Florida after Hurricane Ian.
Ortiz.
Dateline, Cape Coral, Florida. Technically, it's Matt Lachey. It's an annex. For 25 years, his name was synonymous with California. The Huntington Beach Killer, Huntington Beach Slayer. What was he? Huntington Beach Bad Boy.
Yeah.
He was the Huntington Beach Bad Boy. After all, Tortito's nickname was... Guess I should just read line 3 in the fucking article, Don. How's that for sure, bro? After all, Tortito Ortiz's nickname was the Huntington Beach Bad Boy. But now he's the Cape Coral champ. That doesn't have the ring to it.
Same. It's not the same.
The Matt Lachey murderer. The Matt Lachey mauler.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The Matt Lachey no.
Whoa, don't go there. Don't go there. You're going to be on the fucking news.
The Matt Lachey marauder. That wouldn't fit on a pair of trunks, though. Besides all the... I think he retired anyhow, didn't he?
Tito Ortiz?
Yeah. If not...
Hey, I think he's retired.
You can just hear Joe Rogan saying the Matt Lachey marauder. No, the UFC guys would not. But anyhow, but now he's the Cape Coral champ. Quote, everybody here is genuine, Ortito says. They're nice. Like I said, it gave me hope. Ortito's made a life-changing decision last fall. The 5-time UFC World Champion Hall of Famer had recently retired from fighting. See, once again, if I would read the fucking article, I would have known. But, hey, it's 2023. No one reads the articles.
Get your shit together, sir.
Mm-hmm. He settled in his hometown of California to run his business, start a political career, and spend time with his family. Post Jenna Jameson, who is now dating Jesse Lawless from TikTok fame. So she moved to Vegas she left Florida to move to Vegas to be with Jim and Jameson, and now her kids moved to fucking Matt Lachey. That's going to make for some interesting visitations. However, a few days after Hurricane Ian, he got a phone call from a friend in Matt Lachey. Quote, and I heard the urgency in his voice, Ortito said. He said, Tito, do you think you can come down here to help me? Man, I need help. Boy, don't we. And Matt Lachey, I was just out there not too long ago. That place is still, with the exception of no debris around, it looks like the shit just went through yesterday.
Yep.
Everyone on the island needed help. The bridge was washed out. Most homes had wind and water damage. There was no power, no way to communicate with the outside world. So Ortito called some friends who owned businesses. In a couple of days, he raised almost $50,000. He personally brought generators, gas, and other supplies and delivered them to the people of Matt Lachey. Quote, I really don't know what I was getting myself into, he said. You could just see everyone was deflated. Everyone felt defeated. Their need was so great that he came back again with more supplies a couple weeks later. And that's when he noticed it, Ortito said. He had never seen a community come together like this before. And we have said that on the show before. I've lived in a bunch of houses down here. You know, you never talk to your neighbors. You might, obviously the guy right next door. Yeah, what's up? You throw out, nice to see you, what's up? You never talk to him. Once the power goes out and you live through a hurricane, everybody comes out, everybody's talking because they kind of want to get the feel of the neighborhood so they can tell when the looters are coming.
Yep.
And so, everybody helps each other out. Quote, it gave me hope, he said. It gave me hope that, you know what? America is still alive. America is still together. It's here in Florida, here in Cape Coral, and that opened my eyes to the situation. He said he also found community that was more closely matched to his values. Ortito says I almost want to get this it's 2023. Sometimes, let's just get this out of the way. Let's just get this out of the way. Ortito says he has been friends with former President Donald Trump since he appeared on the Apprentice television show, and he supports the Governor Ron DeSantis has done with the schools. Quote, we love nuclear family, we love God, we love faith, we love our freedom, and we love our family, Ortito says. Ortito's decided to move his wife and his 2 boys here in November. Quote, and it was scary for me because I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, he said. But once I got here, it brings joy to me. He said his family is now settled in and happy here. He has gotten involved with a number of charitable organizations, and his next project is opening a Mexican restaurant in downtown Cape Coral. God knows we need it, because, Guanamia just doesn't cut it for me. Being a businessman and trying to help the city grow, because I know it's going to be... That poor son of a bitch has no idea what it's like to try to run a business in Cape Coral, but with that being said, he ran businesses in California, so it can't be that much difficult.
Yeah.
As long as you don't want to wrap his van. Being a businessman and trying to help the city grow, because I know it's going to grow fast and grow the right way, Ortito says. I know I can make it happen. So welcome to Cape Coral, champ. That'd be cool if I see you oot in a boot.
Oot in a boot?
Oot in a boot. And maybe you can intimidate some people to stop acting a fool. You know, we've talked about people decide to embezzle from the business owners, their bosses, the people who are kind enough to give them a goddamn job and give them a little bit of responsibility and make the mistake of giving them access to their bank account and their QuickBooks.
Uh-oh.
Well, what do you get when you have someone who wants to take advantage of people who have the possession of a tow truck?
Ooh.
Right after hurricane season. You got this dick. Allegedly. Lawyers made me say that part.
Allegedly.
Lee County Sheriff's Office towing company accused of stealing cars from Ian victims.
Cool.
And of course, if you're going to steal cars and take them, where would you take them? If you lived in Southwest Florida, where might a alleged car thief take cars to hide them?
Oh, I know where I would take them.
Where is that?
Probably would take them to like
Slater Road.
That's not
Williams Road,
maybe.
North Fort Myers.
Maybe.
North Fort Myers, Florida. Lee County Sheriff's Office said 3 suspects are accused of stealing cars, boats, and golf carts from Hurricane Ian victims.
Wow.
They bonded out of jail and tell Fox 4 that what they were suspected of doing is not true. The case started in November when the suspects allegedly started taking vehicles, according to the police report. Lee County Sheriff's Office began investigating in January when the first incidences were reported. Quote, the Sheriff's Office, "This was fraud at every level," said Sheriff Carmine Marciano. "One of the schemes is they would tow storm-damaged cars and then lie to the owners that the insurance companies had sent them. So they would just see flooded cars and pull up and hook them up, say, Progressive sent me, and fucking leave. Like, I never reported it, Dick."
Holy shit.
Yep. Where was I at my story? Oh, yeah. Saying the insurance company center. Quote, "The owner of the Philadelphia-based towing company claims it isn't true." Imagine that. An out-of-town company comes down here, pulls up a plot of land in North Fort Myers, and gets to work. "I haven't done anything wrong," says Garrett Marcer.
We didn't do it.
The owner of Blessing Towing. Oh, he's one of those cats who uses like Christian-based titles in his company name. "It didn't happen.
Bland.
There were no stolen cars." What about the golf carts? "We didn't steal any cars. We're not here to steal cars." Yeah, go back to Philadelphia, you prick. I bet he has a Flyers jersey in the back of that truck. In the police report obtained by Fox 4, the supposed scamming involved insurance companies happened at least twice since November 2022. Other cars taken were simply just broken down. And that's how the Marsanos say detectives traced it back to Blessing Towing, which operates out of a lot in North Fort Myers. Because that's where you take things when you don't want cops to find them. A large break in the case came when the victims reported that their car breaking down and moved off the roadway vanished. Could you imagine that? I know people who've done that with motorcycles. They run out of gas, their brake cable breaks, they're crotch rocking, they get a call, and they go home, they find some of the truck and go back to the truck. No, I left. You sure you left it? I left it right fucking here. Well, somebody else already stopped and put it in the back of their truck, and now you've lost your crotch rocket.
Sucks to suck.
Yep. I need to start marking where. Oh, vanished. They would then charge the owner double to get their vehicle back, the report said. The company charged $75 tow fee on top of the $75 a day fee, which is usually $50. However, the Lee County ordinance cap is the daily at $35. See, once again, if I read the story. The Marsanas say they recovered 9 stolen cars. I'm sorry, the sheriff said they recovered nine times. 9 stolen cars, a trailer, 3 golf carts, and 2 boats. All at the North Fort Myers lot owned by Zulma Robles in the suspected case. Quote, yes, I towed them. Every car we have paperwork for. When Fox 4 asked for the paperwork for the business license, he claimed the sheriff's office took it all. How convenient. According to state records, Blessing Towing is registered for the state license that started in December 2022. For those of you who have never opened a business in the fine state of Florida, of anywhere for that matter, it costs you $125 and a signature to start a business down here.
Yep, it's real fucking simple.
But if you just started your business and you don't know this, stay on top of that expiration date because it costs you $500 to renew it if you missed the fucking date. Say, well, gee, Don, that's funny. Why would it only be $125 to start a business, but $500 if you missed the date? Because they got you by the short hairs. They know that your bank account has that name on it, your mailing address has the name on it, everything. So that's why Digital 410 Productions is now Digital 410 Media, but I digress. Let's see. According to the state record, blah, 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 they're licensed to operate business in Lee County. The police report states the company violated other towing regulations, including failing to notify law enforcement when towing a vehicle and other operational procedures. Fun fact, when the boys deep six their Ultima in the Cape Coral Canal, he was on the phone with like 911 with the police office for like 20 minutes. They could, sir, I need your location. I'm at the boat ramp on Lake Mead off of Kismet. Sir, we need to know the side streets. I pulled up. I said, it's the only boat ramp on Lake Mead. Sir, we need... Long story short, cops finally getting there. We already got our kayak. Cops come up and say, do you know these guys? Nope. Did you see it happen? No, but I got GoPro footage from about 100 yards down when the car was still floating. Apparently this is done a lot as insurance fraud down here. I don't know how often it happens with an actual trailer intact, but prior to the police getting there, I told the guy, hey, I can call around and try to get you a tow truck. Tow truck informed me that in cases such as this, they cannot tow a vehicle until the police, they have to be contacted by the cops because they have to investigate to see if they can determine if it's any insurance fraud. So like if you were to back your car down a boat ramp on accident and like, fuck it, I'm just going to call the tow truck and file an insurance claim, tow truck can't come out. You got to call the cops. The cops got to come, file a report, and then they contact the tow company. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about pulling some insurance fraud and dumping your truck in a 3-foot canal. Which, by the way, as we said back then, you see all these movies, driving, cop police chase, or maybe a murderer's chasing them, or they're drunk, psycho boyfriend, they driving late at night, skid off the road, and they fly over the bridge into the water, and water's rushing in. They're freaking out. The car's sinking. They can't get their seatbelt off. They're drowning. They're dying. That fucking Nissan Maxima floated for 25 minutes with all 4 windows down and the trunk popped. These things don't sink quick. You got all the fucking time in the world.
It's not real.
I loved a while back I saw this footage of a car maybe somewhere in Florida in the canal. Ladies in the door, I'm drowning, I can't get out. Cop walked to her car. The water was above his fucking up to his waist. It's like, how long have you been in the car? Your windows are down. I understand that you might be afraid to get out, but maybe just dip a toe in. See how deep it is. Maybe break off the antenna and poke around a little bit. When a cop literally wades across the canal and opens your door, come on, man. Come on. You made the guy get his polyester pants all wet.
I watch videos all the time on YouTube.
The Miami boat ramp on TikTok.
The Miami boat ramp. What's it called? Black something. I forget what it's called, but the Miami boat ramp and Haulover Inlet. You ever seen those videos? No,
I just saw the Miami boat ramp. Some of them are boring, but some of them are just like it's an exercise in stupidity.
Yeah, it really is.
And
It really is.
and some of these guys aren't in John boats. Some of these guys aren't in bass trackers. Some of these guys are like in $100,000 freaking, what are they, Donzies or whatever, $200,000 Donzies, and they're just scraping down the side of the boat ramp. Or
Dude had like an $80,000 fucking Triton or something like that. He's in a Jeep. Can't back down the ramp worth of shit.
it's trail rated.
The angle. Dude was the guy, the YouTube guy was filming him for like a half an hour, and he finally gave up and just fucking took off.
Meanwhile, there's 38 people in line.
Yeah, waiting on this fucking jackwagon.
You know, as much as we talk shit about our crusty boat ramps in Cape Coral, I prefer those over the concrete boat ramps because it's the concrete that gets all the scub on it that makes them so damn slippery. It's that buildup of green slime.
It gets. I've slipped a few times.
There's like one boat ramp over by a BMX, I think it's concrete, and they're slippery and shit. I'd much rather have the sandy boat ramps.
I honestly think that saltwater ramps are the worst because, you know, they get all that bacteria and whatnot that's in the water that just, you know, I don't know. I just feel like they're worse. And I was taking my boat out one time, was on the ramp, fucking slipped, went in the fucking drink, and I was like, fuck. In front of everybody. You look stupid.
Sucker.
And then you're getting all your fucking truck is all wet now. You're sitting in fucking water.
Mm-hmm. Chump.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. It's my first time, guys.
I'm not going to read the entire article, but March 19th, Dateline, 3 days ago, Florida could be on daylight savings time permanently if new bill passed.
Ooh.
And I so hope this bill fucking passes. The only reason I can go fishing until 9:30 on a fucking weeknight is because now it don't get dark till 8:45 because of daylight saving time. And I hope they stick to this. I hope they... I was talking to my mom in Kentucky. I like regular time. That's fine. That works for you. But down here in Florida, it makes sense to stick to this time for tourists. You come down here in the wintertime when it's not so fucking hot and you like to go to Disneyland or places with your kids and not get dark at 6 o'clock, you can spend more money, be at the beach later. It just makes more, go out fishing after work. It makes sense for a place like Florida that relies heavily on tourism and outside recreation to move to this time zone. And I hope they move to this time zone and not the other one. If they move to the other one, I'm going to be fucked like Chuck.
Well, we've talked about this before about the orrery of daylight savings.
World War One.
Exactly.
Everybody thinks it's for farming. No, it's for production with blacking out factories during wartime. Right. And they removed it after World War One. They reincorporated World War Two, and then we just we forgot.
Yeah. And so what is daylight savings time? Is it now or is it the other?
I don't know. Hopefully it's now.
Like this being daylight savings time now?
I think so, because now it's dark, it's lighter longer, and if you were working in a plant or in a place where you don't want to use artificial light to give away your location, then you could get natural light. So it would suck if they hopefully they move it to now. I doubt they will, but let's see. Under the Uniform Act of 1966, states can choose not to observe daylight savings time the time between March and November. But they can't choose to stay. Oh, that sucks. They can't choose to stay on daylight saving time all year round. Well, then don't change it. However, many states have enhanced legislation that would put them on permanent daylight savings time if congressional action gives them the opportunity. So do it. The new state, once again, no show prep. The new bill
that was a roller coaster of
emotions.
Right. Don't do it. Wait, no, do it.
The new bill introduced by Representative Mike Rogers, Republican from Alabama, I don't know why he has anything to do with Florida, but whatever, hopes to do just that. Rogers' bill introduced earlier this month would give states the power to stay on daylight savings time all year round. Remaining on daylight savings time could have tremendous benefits to the economy and people's health. Furthermore, you can get more vitamin D. Furthermore, changing our clocks twice a year is a necessary and outdated nuisance, Rogers said in his statement Monday. What states are awaiting congressional approval? At least 19 states have already enhanced legislations or resolutions to stay on daylight savings time permanently, according to the National Conference of State Legislators. That sounds like a boring group of assholes. Those states.
Isn't like Kentucky or Arkansas one of them?
Well, let's see. No, you completely missed. Oh, no, wait a minute. Legislators in Arkansas and Oklahoma have introduced bills to remain on daylight savings time and permanently if Congress. Okay, so back up a little bit. So 19 states have already enhanced legislation and resolutions to stand daylight savings time permanently according to the National Convention of State. Those sound like a boring group of assholes. Okay, we're back to where we were. Those states include Alabama, Colorado.
Uh-oh.
I don't understand how this works.
Don's perplexed.
I'm an IT guy. I'm a web developer. So I'm looking at this paragraph, and we'll go back. Those states include Alabama, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Louisiana, Maine, Minnesota, Montana, Ohio, Oregon, South Carolina, Tennessee, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming, California, and to authorize a change. Right-click, open a new tab. Okay, the reason I was perplexed, in that paragraph, Alabama has a hyperlink attached to it. Colorado has a hyperlink attached to it. Delaware does not. Florida does. Georgia does. Idaho doesn't. Louisiana does. Maine doesn't. Minnesota doesn't. So I'm like, why do some of these states have a hyperlink? I was thinking maybe you could click on them and actually read their proposed bill. But it does. It just goes to the local news story about the same goddamn thing. So anyhow, I get caught up in weird shit like that. Legislators in Arkansas and Oklahoma have introduced bills that remain in daylight savings time permanently. Congress allows them, blah, blah, blah. Lawmakers in Nebraska introduced a similar bill that would also need a third neighboring state to pass a law on the matter according to... Why is that? New Mexico lawmakers are considering two pieces of legislation, one to keep the state on standard time, dicks, another to make daylight savings time permanent. Woo! If all of parts of Texas, specifically El Paso County, Texas, passes similar laws. I wonder if it's because a lot of those smaller states rely on large city municipalities to provide services, and if your time zones didn't match, you wouldn't be able to go like some of the banks and shit. That's the only thing that would make sense to me, because why would you care what your neighboring state was doing? Unless you're like some podunk place. And well, shit, if we stay ahead, our people get out of work at 5, but it's going to be 6 there. They can't go to the bank to cash their check. I don't know. It's just weird that they would require neighboring states to pass the same law.
I mean, I was always taught that states can govern themselves and fuck everybody else.
Yep. Isn't it funny how that works?
Very.
When I was a producer of Stan and Haney, there was a listener who would email often. And he was all about, yeah, Colorado, California, legalized marijuana. Yeah, woo. Okay, cool. Yeah, fucking state right. I'm down for the cause. Very next paragraph. I can't believe California's not enforcing fucking immigration laws, just the federal laws. It's like, what? You can't have it both ways. You can't be happy that California says, fuck federal laws, we're legalizing marijuana, but fuck federal laws, we're not enforcing, when it comes to laws, you can't have it both ways. And if you want federalism, sometimes there's going to be shit that you don't appreciate that becomes legal, and you can't pick and choose. It's all or nothing.
That's the separation.
Mm-hmm.
That's my side's right, your side's wrong. My side's right, your side's wrong. That's where people get, argumentative. And
the biggest problem with 2023, and you're old enough that you may remember this saying, maybe not. My parents heard it a lot, especially, growing up the children of, the generation who fought in World War II and fought off communism, Nazism, and fascism. Mm-hmm. And that saying was, you have the right to say whatever you want to say. I have the right not to agree with it, but I will stand by your side for your right to say what it is you want to fucking say.
Right.
Now it's, you can't say that. That hurts my feelings. You need to shut the fuck or we're going to get you canceled and lose your job.
Yep.
And that is a problem.
It's a big problem.
A huge problem. It's insane. And we got to resolve that.
Well,
I think things are slowly starting to turn around.
I mean, the thing that bothers me is that you have like all these college campuses and it's now progressing into like high schools and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, well, we have a safe space for you, and anytime you need it, you can go there. Why? Life is hard. The world is cruel. Get over it. That's my thought on it. Like, you can't sit here and cry and whine about, oh, this person said this to me, or this didn't make me feel right, or this depressed me, or that's you. That's you doing that to yourself. Nobody else controls your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You control your own feelings, and you can't sit here and blame everybody else, for what's going on in your head. So that, I mean, that just shit like that just
Well,
bothers me.
it's so crazy that the extreme left has gone. They've gone back to their roots.
Mm-hmm.
You have colleges that are literally trying to reintegrate segregation. we People fought. Some died. Some got sprayed with high-powered fucking water hoses. Had goddamn police dogs sicked on them while protesting to open up and desegregate schools, desegregate workplaces, desegregate the military.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King marched for this stuff, and it was considered a civil rights win when we finally got rid of all these archaic bullshit racist laws, the segregations, the white water fountain, the black water fountains, all that. The fucking black people sit up in the balcony of the goddamn, which by the way, I'd much rather sit up there, you get a better view, but we get rid of all that shit. And then
Yeah.
these out for the little guy progressive groups, oh well, we need all black, we need to kick the white folk out of the, so basically you're reincorporating segregation,
Yeah.
but
It's just,
segregation on your terms, so now it's all right.
yeah,
No.
the role it's role reversal. It's role reversal.
I'm trying to find out what state. Some state just is considering removing standardized grading system from high school because certain demographics of their student body have a tendency not to graduate high school. And so for the sake of equality and equity, they're removing the standards. So you're just going to put out dumb kids? You're not going to force grades? It makes no sense.
I no, and see, I'm a little on the fence about stuff like that, because I get standardized testing and
No, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking like F cats and that. I'm talking about like you got to B in this class, you got to F in this class.
yeah,
Like pass fail.
right.
Well, if you don't, I don't know. I guess if you don't have a grading system, how do you make sure people get the basic? And by the way, for those of you new to this podcast, I was a dumb fuck. I had a learning disability from second grade until I graduated high school. When it came to reading, math, and science, I was put in an old broom closet with about 4 other kids who had a burnt out teacher teaching us those, because it's so funny. They didn't have cute acronyms back then. They didn't have code words. You were literally in LD classes, which stood for learning disabled, or as we like to call it, literally dumb. And you know what they called the other classes? Mainstream. How's that help your fucking? How's that on the old self-esteem? You're not in mainstream for reading, science, and math. You're in the LD classes, and literally they would be old broom closets. There'd be like 4 desks crammed in there and an old teacher. And
Yeah.
so don't, for those you listening saying, well, you're just saying you're not down for this because you probably were the topic. No, I struggled through high school. I mean, I graduated my senior year with probably 2 C's and D's, and I had an A in like photography, ceramics, and wood shop. But like, I passed college prep history with a D. Imagine that, the guy who had a learning disability but was in college preparatory history, went on to do a history podcast 23 years later. But when it came,
Yeah.
I still can't do math. But anyhow, that's why when I read stories a lot, I struggle. But anyhow, I'm getting better. So, but no, it's one thing to get to reorganize the grading structure because it's time to do it. It's something else to say, we're going to do it because a certain group of people struggle with this, not because of their mental capacity or their blah, 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 because a lot of times it has to do with their home life. Just like there are certain states who said, okay, we're going to get rid of detentions and suspensions because certain people get suspended and detained. That doesn't fix the behavior problem. That doesn't fix the fact that they punch their teacher in the fucking mouth. They just can't get sent away for it now.
Yeah.
And so there's something to be said about teaching consequences for your actions. I mean, once again, my senior year, I probably had 23 detentions. for skipping class, doing this and that, but I'd get a detention. And so once again, I'm by no means a scholar or, I didn't participate in any school activities. I wasn't excited to go to prep rallies. I was pretty much anti-school. But with that being said, even at my age now, I understand the basic fundamental importance of a lot of that shit. If not anything other than learning how to be at a place you don't want to be for 8 hours a day, i.e. training you to get a fucking job.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have guidelines, standards, and repercussions in high school,
yeah,
we're already seeing it now. I don't want to work. I ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm onboarding people in the Philippines to work at medical offices in South Dakota because people in South Dakota don't want to work,
mm-hmm.
they're not doing it because they're cheaper. They're doing it because they can't find people to fucking walk into the office every day. That's a problem. And so now we're saying, okay, well, let's get rid of the standardization and, organization in school. Just, I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Well, there are certain things in schools that I think that they, the academic atmosphere has pretty much stayed the same over the last however long. It's always been, your basics, math, science, language arts, social studies, history, geography, algebra, whatever. And the
race theory.
Yeah.
Transgender theory. Anti-Christian theory.
The thing that gets to me is, like, my father says it all the time. It's like, why don't they teach, like, they don't even have in some schools, what was that? I never took that class, like baking or whatever it was.
Home economics.
Home ec.
We had it.
A lot of schools, they don't even teach that anymore.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Maybe we need to go, instead of getting rid of grades, instead of getting rid of structure, maybe the states need to do what a lot of states do. Now, not, once again, state rights, you can do whatever you want. But as you said, when I went to school in the 80s and 90s, I graduated in 1997, so you can count backwards to when I was in middle school in 93.
Yeah.
I had a home economic. I had to make the pillowcase. I had to make boxer shorts. I learned how to use a sewing machine. To this day, I don't have a sewing machine, but all my World War II patches I sew on, I know how to sew because of home economics.
Right.
That got... I was at the last generation of that. When I was in the high school, the middle school kids got... Home economics went away, but they got life skill classes.
Yeah.
Balancing checkbooks, which made sense. Life skills. And I think wood shop, I was in wood shop, so I learned how to use table saws, band saws, which came in handy when I was building ambulances, which came in handy doing all the work I did.
Sure.
Once again, I wasn't stellar. I never went to college. I worked a lot of manual labors before I got to where I am now. But I think maybe we need to go old school. And here's a perfect example. Grove City High School. I guess Southwest City Schools in Columbus did this. They realized that not all students are the same.
Mm-hmm.
They realized not everybody's going to fucking college. They realized that not everybody can sit through 8 hours school day.
Yeah.
They realized some people would probably need to get a head start on working. So they would have work programs. You'd go to school. You would take your required classes. No electives, just the required classes. And then you would get your elective credits you would leave at 11. You'd go to work. Work fast food, go work in a mechanic shop, go change oil, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Your boss fills out the sheet of paper, how many hours you put in, and you got electives. So that's an educated formulated for you.
Yeah.
If you're on the other end of the spectrum, you're a smart kid. You got your junior year rolls around, you got all your requirements, you got your basic, you maybe started school early, you went to summer school, you got all these extra credits. So now your junior year, you're going to have all the credits you need. So you go to school for whatever you need to get done. At noon, you went to college. These kids are already going to college.
Yeah.
And then they had the kids who, okay, you're not going to college, but you're not one that needs to start work, but you need a tradable skill. So you're going to go to Grove City for your main classes, and that 11 o'clock, you're heading over to Hayes Technical School. You're going to learn how to use a lathe. You're going to learn how to use machine shit. Gordon went there. He, complete waste of time because the technology went away. He learned how to do magazine layout designs manually with the light boards, the cutting X-Acto knives, laying out the fonts, all before Photoshop, all before he took 4 years of that shit.
Yeah.
Could have went and worked at a print shop. So Southwestern City Schools is really good about offering solutions for people who have different ways of learning. Smart kids, the kids who barely stick around, or kids who want to further their education in the manual labor field to become a welder, what have you.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that would be more viable solution than saying, well, your grades suck. You're not interested in school, so let's just change the school. How about you offer them solutions? Hey, get your math class, reading class, head over to the trade school or head off to work. Whatever. Well, shit. I wish I was in high school now. Southwest Florida.
Mm-hmm.
School choice.
Yeah.
Very cool. There's some bad parts about it. Busing and traffic being a big problem. But I never had a kid down here in the school system till Sariana. Start going to open house. Is your kid in high school yet?
No.
Wait until he's in high school. Open house is like a fucking timeshare meeting. Because the school gets paid X amount of money for each student.
Yeah.
So it behooves them to have programs that for a particular student. Go to North Fort Myers High School. It's almost like Fame. They have all the general classes, but all the electives are based off of arts. You can do set production design movie and TV sets. They have video game design. You can code video game. They have drone and robotics classes. They have music, fucking theater. It's all art-based stuff. And then you go to Cape Coral High School, and it's more general education plus ROTC, farming, this and that and the other thing. And then you go to this high school, and then they have the general. Because of school choice, now they've turned into businesses, and they got to have something that separates them from the other school to try to get kids who are interested in that. And so you go, and they have every one of them's different because it's all based off of what their school has designed their curriculum around to get people in the seats to get those money. Right. So you go to these things and you feel like you're at a timeshare. Oh, this is why you need to come to our high school. These are the programs we offer. Those people suck. And you feel like you're at a timeshare meeting. It's insane.
It's a business. They're trying to sell you. When I was in high school, we kind of had like we would choose like a career pathway. So when you first, when you were a freshman in high school, you had like one of like 4 or 6 different pathways or something like that you could choose, and they had those standard classes for that pathway that you would have to take.
Doctor, lawyer, trash man, or construction worker.
Yeah. Oh, I took an I think I started as a no, I didn't take. I was going to take an engineering pathway because I like building and design and stuff like that, and I think I changed it or something like that, and I graduated high school a semester early, but that is in no way, shape, or form any kind of pat on the back because I'm not that smart. I graduated early because I had enough credits and I was able to do that. But I took, let's see, 3 hours. Well, I took an hour and a half of construction 1.
Well, see, I was going to say I've forgotten all about it because I never took it. I took woodshop, but our woodshop teachers taught 2 periods of construction for kids who teach you how to frame a wall, teach you how to hang drywall and all that shit. And then you also had for architecture class. And so they had something for everybody.
But see, I was also in a very small town and very,
like Jack and Diane small town.
Like the school was built in 1950 and everybody went there. And
my cousin's high school in Chillicothe was so small that his entire school student body was like 500 people.
Mine was 3.
When I graduated, I had 600 seniors graduating.
Jesus Christ.
They had 900 freshmen coming in the following year. Wow. Because Grove City High School in 1997 is like Cape Coral is today. It was just booming.
Yeah.
900 freshmen coming in the following year.
Right.
And that's when they had to start staggering schedules. Freshman, sophomore coming early. Juniors and seniors coming later. And they did that for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I feel like, there should be it should be more broad. But I also think, like, home ec classes and, you know, like you were saying, life skill classes should be more popular. Because when I was in school, nobody fucking taught us how to do checks and balances and
Well, you
taught
don't need
us
to
money
now.
management or anything like
Yeah.
that. No real life skills. It was, you did your basic required classes and then you got your electives and that was it. You know, I didn't, I'm
I wonder if the financial collapse of wokeness is going to hurry up and get that shit out of the ethos. Here's what I
as
mean by
far
that.
as,
You had Sam Bankman Fried, who started that Bitcoin place that bamboozled everybody, lost all the money. All these celebrities were doing fucking Super Bowl ads. The government was selling them bonds, and then they went under. Now he's living in prison.
was it that, was it Bitcoin or was it like FTC
It
or
was
FTX?
FTC. It was the
FT or
one, the
whatever.
one,
Okay.
yeah. And then we had the video footage of the guy that the Biden administration put in charge of the disposal of nuclear waste. The guy who liked to have a beard, wear lipstick, and then go steal bags at the fucking airport.
Mm.
Some people are saying that possibly he was hired just because he was the flavor of the month in that administration. Oh, give this guy a job. He's trans. Everything's about LGBT. We'll look good.
Mm-hmm.
Saw what happened there. The Silicon Valley Bank that just went out of business. You heard about that, right?
Yep.
Damn near knocked our economy for a loop. Stories coming out. Their entire board, at least the main 5 seats, were all women. Not a single dude. Not saying that women can't do the job, but this particular company, because their only clientele were tech businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that most of the tech stuff is where this shit comes from. And so they were focusing on woke policies. They weren't focusing on standard, regular, run-of-the-mill banking. We got to incorporate these policies, these things that possibly weren't meeting the requirements of normal banking, but they were doing it just so that it looked good in the Times.
Right.
And the person who was in charge of making sure that bank followed all the guidelines, there's a quote to her saying that she's not paying attention. There's no problem of default and this and that, and focusing on all this woke stuff. And it's just like, it just seems like more and more of these people who actively hire. Now, there's nothing wrong with hiring a trans person if they have the resume.
Yeah.
Once again, my neighbor down the street, it's a fucking Vietnam vet. When I moved in, he wore a Harley, had his fucking Harley. He still rides his Harley Camaro, had his equality sticker on it. I knew the guy was openly gay. Hung out with him through the hurricane, not Ian, the one out before, checked on him, drank a few beers. One day I see him walking through the fucking Publix wearing a dress and fake boobs. See him walking down the running path wearing, it's so funny because I love the fact he's committed. He's going down the walking path in women's spandex, sports bra, but he has foam wedges on. It's like, you do realize women have running shoes, right? You don't have to go out and exercise in the foam wedge flip-flops. You can put on a pair of Saucony's or fucking women's Brooks. You don't have to commit the whole... But so he's so committed. But once again, guy's old enough to make the choices. He has experience. And so my point is, if you're interviewing people and this person has the resume and at whatever point in their life they decided to transition, fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
Pat on him, her, they, them on the back. Give him a fucking name tag. We'll get a little deep dark here real quick.
Uh-oh.
Just explain to them that they need to be comfortable and settled on their name. Because Bill Gates is a prick. Bill Gates is so old school that when he designed Active Directory, that's how your computer networks work. When you get a job and the IT guy gives you a username, he puts your user account in Active Directory. That's where all your user rights. That's how they give you access to certain folders, certain computers, certain printers, etc., etc. Even in the modern day Azure Active Directory, which is an O365 cloud, that's how you can share files through SharePoint, yada, yada, yada. I say all that to say this. Active Directory does not like name changes. apparently, back in the 70s and 80s, Bill Gates never thought women would work in the corporate office because when they get married and change their fucking name, they either A, have to be happy with their maiden name, or you have to delete the entire fucking account and build it from the ground up because Active Directory does not support name changes. And I did have to do this for a person who transitioned. So I say all that to say this. When you hire them, they, he, sure, should, whatever, just say, hey, can you settle on your name now? So when the IT guy spends fucking hours building your user rights through our government office and you decide to change your name, 3 months from now, he don't have to go back and rebuild it all because Bill Gates, for whatever reason, never thought women or trans would be in the work environment who get married and need to change their fucking maiden names.
Yeah.
So anyhow, hire people based on whatever happened to hiring people based on merit. Now it's merit's not as important. What's more important is optics. Do they have a beard and lipstick? Hire them. But he didn't graduate. They didn't graduate. Who cares? Which, by the way, am I the only one that's noticing the new Amazon commercial?
I haven't seen it.
There's an Amazon commercial that has a in-your-face, on-the-nose, ambiguously genderless appearance. Kind of looks like maybe a Hispanic version of the guy from Workaholics with the afro.
Okay.
But the afro's smaller. She looks like a woman, big old gap in her teeth, but has like the mustache of a 15-year-old boy, a 13-year-old Mexican boy.
Commercial. Oh,
wearing a dress, has the mustache of like a 13-year-old middle school Hispanic boy, you know, because they start growing in quick. Gap in the teeth, and it's like, is that a dude in a dress or is that a chick with a mustache? Oh, we're not allowed to ask anymore. It's like so on the nose. It's like, okay, Amazon's like, we're going to take this shit and go full force with it. And every time I watch, I'm like, what's the angle here? And it's like, it's so, I don't know. I guess there's certain times when you see things, your body just says something's not right here. And I would almost be willing to guess that actor or actress doesn't portray themselves that manner in real life. Yeah. It's almost like the mustache was applied. It's not real. It's like makeup. Right. It's like the set production crew went out of their way. It's one thing to hire a trans actor or a trans actress or trans they, whatever, an acti. I don't know what you would call. But when you take somebody and you overdo it, it's like, okay, now you're just doing it to prove a point. Like, oh, we're in I don't know. It's like, really? But it's just like, every time I watch, I'm like, which way are we flying here?
Nobody knows anymore.
Yeah, I guess I need to do
What's
it.
like with,
hold on.
Like
Gordon's not, hold on. I just.
Huh? Oh.
I'm sure we just got this show banned.
Oh, yeah.
Trains, fucking trains. March 9th, Norfolk Southern train derails in Alabama hours after CEO gets grilled by Congress for the Ohio derailment.
Oh, my God.
There's been like 4 train derailments in 4 weeks, and only one of them was not a Norfolk Southern train.
It's a conspiracy.
It's not a conspiracy, especially when... Well, I think we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago when there's audible footage of a train yard superintendent yelling at the maintenance guys, telling them to stop tagging out train cars with bad wheel bearings because it's slowing down production. And then you find out the trains in Ohio crashed due to wheel bearing failures. Oh, and this wasn't even the same train company. And as I explained, the whole sound of the banshees coming through my tent because of the poorly maintained fucking trains. It's just, I don't know, it's crazy. There's so much craziness going on.
Was their payload as dangerous as...
No, luckily not. Tomorrow's the big day. Jasper's getting his nuts clipped.
Oh.
Carrie was thinking about postponing in an effort to get Bailey knocked up. But it's like we don't know if Jasper's full breed. And I don't want to be a breedist, but some people say, you already got people saying you shouldn't breed Bostons and Frenchies and pugs because their noses and all that. It's like, do you want to breed one with a dog that you're not sure is 100% full bred?
Yeah.
Could cause, you might be creating dogs that's going to have bigger health problems. But so, yep, tomorrow. Funny thing is that he's getting his balls chopped tomorrow, and she's starting to show signs of going in heat. And Carrie's like,
Maybe we should wait.
But the problem is we went to a low cost clinic because my vet wanted $600. So we went to a low cost clinic. It's $150.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to put a deposit down. And if you don't cancel within 24 business hours, and so like if we were to cancel, we'd lose like $100. So you're getting a dick cut tomorrow, dude. Sorry. I have to do it. He doesn't pee in the house. He's not squatting and pissing, but he's lifting his leg, marking territory, trying to find a bitch.
Yeah.
And I can't have him spraying in my fucking house.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross. So
I've heard that's a common misconception though.
it is, but I'm sure it'll help when he doesn't have the testosterone.
Yeah.
Because they also settle down and become easily more manageable when you get them fixed.
I've always thought that. I just heard that was a...
Yeah, so anyhow, we're hoping. And plus, summer vacation's coming here soon. See, he doesn't do it when we're home. He does it during the day. And so it's hard to potty train him right now. See, when we got Bailey, it was during the pandemic and the school summer break. And so when we got her, someone was home to let her out every 30 minutes. And so they have the doggy door, and he's smart enough not to do it when we're home. So hopefully in the summertime with Carrie being home from school, we can try to break him of that habit. Because other than that, he's a great dog, but that's just a bad fucking habit. Luckily, I got top floor.
Is he still pulling all of his toys out of the basket and stringing them about?
Not only does he put them on, the basket is now empty, but his new thing is now when he gets a toy that Bailey wants, he gets in the basket and then wedges the ball up on the inside so she can't get to it. So now the basket has become like his safe space. He actually gets
bitch, this is mine.
He gets in the basket and then and pushes the ball up towards the side so she can't get it from the outside.
Oh my God.
Carrie sent me a picture in the basket, and I came home and he was in the basket again. So now he jumps in the basket. And the other thing he started now is he likes to wedge him. Bailey sleeps under the blankets, and he does sometimes too, but now he likes to wedge himself under the pillow. So I'm trying to sleep, my head's slowly getting lifted up and the pillows are moving. It's like, come on, dude.
Melissa, she gets so pissed because we'll go to bed and we have a black lab, Maya.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, they lost their ranking as America's favorite dog.
I know. I'm depressed. She's 80 pounds, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a king bed, and I'm no slim fit fella. And, she hops up on the bed, and at night, like last night in particular, she was super pissed. She woke up, she was tired. She didn't even go to work today. But she was like, because Maya she curls up into a ball, and she gets right up on her legs, and she doesn't move all night long. And if you flinch, she growls, she gets down off the bed, and she starts barking at you in the middle of the night. And I'm sleeping away. Like, I don't even, nothing like that wakes me up anymore. But.
Well, Bailey gets under the bed, and then she stretches out, and she'll kick you in the side and scratch the shit out of you. And so you're getting kicked all night long, but but Jasper doesn't.
Yeah, Maya, she's a wild one.
Fun fact. What's bigger, a king size bed or a California king?
Ooh. They're about the same, aren't they? Maybe.
Technically, if you look at the math, a king size bed is bigger.
The California is a little bit longer, isn't it?
It's longer and skinnier.
Okay. Yeah.
So a king size bed is 76 inches wide by 80 inches long. Right. California is 72 inches wide by 84. So it's longer for the tall fucks like me. But I don't know why they can't give you both. Why can't you have the 84 plus the 76?
So have you seen the Alaskan and like Texas king beds?
No.
Oh my god. They're like I think the Alaskan king is like a regular king bed and then a not a queen, a twin put together.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
big.
massive. It's massive.
Alaskan King Bed Company. What's the dimensions on that? Alaskan King
Don't quote me on that. I
Bed.
I just know it's really fucking big.
It's big. Let me look at the dimensions. I've already forgot the dimensions of the California King, but
I think you said it was 72 by 84.
yeah. Dimensions in guide. No. 80 by 76. Okay. So, standard queen bed is 60 by 80. Okay, so you lose 4 inches on your length. Standard king is 76 by 80. As we said, a California king is 72 by 84. A Texas king is 80 by 98. So you gain a good extra 14 inches.
Yeah.
Alaskan king is 108 by 108, perfectly square.
It's fucking massive.
But not that crazy, but still bigger than the Texas king is the Wyoming king.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this
84 by 84 inches. And then the split king, 76 by 80. So the 76 is wider than the California king, but shorter than the California king. So actually the split king is the same size as the standard king. So I don't know. Oh, it's a split, so you can adjust it, have different firmnesses. So the standard queen is best for single people, small spaces. Standard king is couples who want a little extra room. California king is for tall fucks like me that need a longer mattress. Texas king, couples with pets, people that need extra space in bed, i.e. the W people. Alaskan king, couple with young children and pets, people in large bedroom spaces. Yeah, I guess it does look weird when you have a big ass room and a small ass bed, even if that bed's a California king.
Yeah.
I don't need to chat. You're covering up my. Go away. The Wyoming king is for couples with young children, i.e., kids, the kids who still sleep in their bed. And the split king are couples with different mattress preferences, couples that need an easy way to move in bed. So, I need firm, I need soft. And we don't ever cuddle because otherwise someone would be sleeping in the gap. You ever do that when you're a kid? Like, you're poor and like you got two singles and you push them together to try to make a queen and then you just fall into the gap and the beds push apart.
Oh yeah.
If you get lucky, the sheet holds you like a hammock.
Oh yeah. Remember those beds? What were those beds?
Hide a bed, Murphy bed.
Yeah.
Hide a bed and the mattress and the couch was always the worst. It had the metal bar.
Oh fuck yeah! A couch bed? Fuck
yeah, that metal bar was always right where your spine met your pelvis. And didn't matter how new that mattress was, how many blankets you put down, how many egg crate foam, that thing just always. Hide-a beds are only good for kids who are under the height of 3 feet, so that the bar goes underneath their calves.
You remember the old ones from like the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, I used to sleep on one.
They had the fucking it was a gap. I don't know.
Yeah, between the head of the bed and your pillows would sink down.
Yep.
I remember sleeping on my grandmother's, and I can remember, it still makes my teeth numb, the thought of scraping my fingernail on the metal frame.
Oh. Don't do that.
Murphy beds.
Murphy beds.
Those are like in studio apartments in New York where you have no room, the bed flips up.
But a good one can be comfortable, but a lot of those Murphy beds, like if you just like go to your local fucking bed store or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got a Murphy bed here. It's like fucking a couple grand or whatever."
We are on the same page at Mattress Firms. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite one is on, I don't know if they still have them, but on Pine Island. There used to be one on one side of Pine Island, and right across the street, there's another one. You can like see in the showroom from the other one.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So we're going to get up at
Conspiracy.
7. We got to drop the dog off at 7:30. I told Carrie, so we should just pack up our shit, drop him off, and go fishing.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Might still be a little dark. Morning fishing. Morning fishing in the daylight sucks for me, but maybe dark morning fishing.
Yeah, but even like I've been out many a time in the morning, and even if you don't catch anything, it's just like, you're up, it's early.
See, I'm the
excited.
other because I get at 5:30 every morning, so I'm like, noon rolls around, like, caught shit. I was like, fuck, I should have just stayed in bed. Wasting my time.
I used to, I remember being a kid and, knowing that we were going out.
See, that was the thing when we were growing up. It
Saturday
was,
morning.
you're going fishing with Dad tomorrow. You got to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Why?
No, because we always,
Because Dad wanted to start drinking at 4 a.m. That's why.
Yeah. We started, I remember this one time we were going camping on a picnic island, and my dad was like, we got to get up at 4:30. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we're packing the boat tonight. We're loading everything up. It's going to be ready to go. Checking all the trailer lights and all that shit. He's like, we got to be up at 4:30. I'm fucking snoozing. Get up. Oh, fuck. You fucking get up. But then once I would wake up, I get excited. Ready to go. We're
black
going camping.
coffee and cigarettes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nothing says morning fishing like a thermos of black coffee and a pack of Marlboro Reds.
Mm.
And
Make me feel like a real man.
And the smell of shiners on your fingers. You know you had a good night of fishing when you walk out in the garage and your kayaks make the whole fucking house smell like garage smell like bass. Well, fellas, I think that's going to wrap it up for this extra long episode of the What's in Your Head podcast. We want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. And if you haven't done so already, please head over to youtube.com, the new singular home. Videos do back up the Rumble just in case they like to pull some of our shit down. But the home, we're no longer streaming on Facebook and Instagram. Which, by the way, if you think the government wants to get rid of TikTok because of the Chinese government, you're wrong. The government wants to get rid of TikTok because Google and fucking Meta are paying the fucking politicians to get rid of it because as the one politician accidentally slipped and said, 90, I think it was 2 million people spend 90 minutes a day on TikTok. And he said, well, I'm sure you guys would rather they spend that time on your platforms.
Yeah.
So it's just a money grab. And Meta has already said they've already taken away their monetization. So they have no intent to pay people for their content, unlike YouTube and TikTok. Which, let's be fair, TikTok doesn't pay a shit. I make more money off YouTube, and I've only been monetized for 2 months, than I have on a year I've been monetized on TikTok. And that's with a video that had 1.7 million views. Yeah. But anyhow. So thank you guys so much. Please head over to youtube.com. Look for D410 Media. We were out fishing one night. Guy said, oh, you have a YouTube channel. I'm saying Digital 410. Huh? What? Who? Huh? So just D410 Media, and you'll find us. You can still look for Digital 410. It'll still come up, but trying to make it easier to tell people when I'm fishing. You got a YouTube channel? Carrie's like, well, you need to name it after fishing. It's like, well, I have more content than just fishing on there. That's why I have playlists. Poles and Paddles a playlist. What's in Your Head's a playlist. What's the Scuttlebutt's a playlist. And the Garage is a playlist. Kind of like old-fashioned Don, NBC would have this show and that show. Now, granted, it's time where we have Motor Trend, it's cars all day long, but still, you have different shows. It's not called Fast and Loud. Which, how sad is that Finnegan left Faster and Finnegan?
Finnegan from Roadkill?
Yeah. He's still doing Roadkill, but he started his own show called Faster with Finnegan. You ever seen it?
No.
It's a cool show. Him, Cotton, and Newburn, they would buy a car, truck, whatever, come up with an automobile, go, if they're doing hill climbing, mud running, whatever, they'd go lay down the lap. They'd take the car back to his house, upgrade it, and then try to make it faster. Well, apparently he needed to spend some more time with his family, so he left, and now she's Cotton and Newburn. He's still going to do Roadkill, but he's no longer doing Faster with Finnegan. So, but anyhow. So please head over to please head over to youtube.com, look for D410 Media. Head over to D-410.com or whatchahead.com. Click on that Patreon link. Like, sign up, and subscribe. Go a long way to help us what we're doing here. But if you, money's tight, times are hard. I get it. You not want to give two strangers some money. Just go sign your Roku TV in, your extra laptop. Just go to YouTube and go to play all on one of our playlists and walk out of the room and just let that bad boy go. Trust me, you can support us doing that. So until next time, I think Gordon will be here live next Wednesday. He's driving out this way. I think he's leaving in a day or two, bringing the kids, the whole shit and caboodle. And so we may have a new episode next week. But thank you guys so much. And we will talk to you all shortly.
Shorter.